Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is Souffle Art. I've got a Majora's Mask here. A friend of mine 3D printed this, started to paint it, and said, you know what, forget it, I don't feel like it. But they are a good friend and they like to 3D print stuff for other people. Two facts that are not mutually exclusive. And so I'm going to paint this for him and he's going to give me some little doodads. First, trim up the back. Now, trimming out the infill like this isn't strictly necessary because we're just painting the top of it. It doesn't matter what's on the bottom, but I do have to hold this and keep moving it around, and I didn't want all that stuff to be poking me as I position it, so that's why we trimmed it. Next step, we give this a light sanding. Step 3, the light sanding didn't do hardly anything, so instead we just hit the whole thing with a coat of plastic spray paint. You can see it this way. This particular spray paint I bought for my Rubik's Cube mods, my little vinyl mods, because it also bonds to plastic, and this is a plastic filament which has been melted and 3D printed, so the plastic will stick to this and then this acrylic plastic will stick to this plastic. Circle of life is complete. One thing, I do have one good tip for you. In the years I've been painting here and there, is you get masking tape, and once you have a color mixed out, which I don't today, but some days you will, you have a color mixed out, you want to save some of it, you get your palette, you get a piece of the masking tape. It usually takes two unless you got extra thick masking tape, and you just seal it up. The masking tape keeps the air out, and as long as there's no air, then the water inside your paints, assuming they're acrylic paints, the water inside your acrylic paints can't evaporate, and if it can't evaporate, then the paint stays usable. And you can get an extra, up to a week sometimes, of use on a color when you preserve it with this masking tape method. Make sure you press down real good on the tape, there's no air or anything in between. And you can also peel it back here and there, you know. Peel back a little, maybe hit it with just a couple drops of water and mix the water back in, and that'll help refresh the paint and prevent a skin or a layer forming on top. But that's my tip. Let's get time-lapsing.